2, 1, skip.
Alright. I think we're good. We have somebody here.
Oh, we ready? Already
Hey
here.
Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is August 29th, 2017. As you know, when you clicked on the title, we want to take you to some inspiring stories from Hurricane Harvey, where it's showing the false narrative of the racist that the mainstream media is trying to portray. We are seeing the hearts of true Americans come together in a red state.
Are we marching together on purpose?
Whoa! See, we're coming together. Come together. So we're seeing black people rescue white people, and white people rescue black people, and Asian people, and Mexican people, and you know, all these people are coming together, and it doesn't matter what color you are, we all bleed the same red, and these are real heroes. And I think that this is something that was very needed and necessary to debunk the false narrative.
Yes, so I had felt this going on, like stirring for a while, and then lo and behold, like with everything else this year, everybody else is thinking the same thing.
Right.
That when we keep watching all of these rescues, like I had a friend who lives in Oklahoma. He posted, if anybody wants to pitch in some gas money, that's great, but we've got food, we've got clothes, and I'm taking my boat, and we're going to go rescue people down in Texas.
I love that.
You know, and we are going to maybe put Sydney upstairs.
Yeah.
And we're going to take you, stick with this, because I've got a ton of videos lined up of awesome, amazing rescues. But I wanted to start while people are coming with this video of this wonderful woman who laid this whole thing out for us that we were going to discuss today, how Hurricane Harvey has destroyed the mainstream narrative of white supremacy and racism that we're all so sick and tired of hearing of. And we are Americans. We love each other. And this is what happens when something real comes to our doors. We help each other.
Hey everybody, it's
okay, here she goes.
2017. The time now is 5:30 and the path that we're on. For anybody that doesn't like what I said last night, honestly, Jins,
let me get her going here.
I really don't care. It's not going to change how I see things. And if I am... Yeah.
Let's see.
So... The media right now is still pushing this whole... The racist thing is going out the window because of the hurricane that happened in Texas. Hurricane Harvey. The media is now scrambling to figure out how they can tie this to racism and how they can tie this to Trump and how they can change the narrative, which they can't because of the disaster of the flooding in Texas, which was seen by the governor of Texas ahead of time. They're trying to...
And so what she's beginning to say is that, unfortunately, politics played a huge part in the fact that we need all these rescues. And I didn't really understand all of this, but you have this wonderful Republican governor. He's in a wheelchair. He's just seems like this really neat, awesome guy.
Yeah.
And he's a Republican, and he's the governor of Texas. And then you have this...
And he was telling everybody to get out.
And he was telling people to
evacuate.
Leave. Well, you have the mayor of Houston telling people that the governor was using hyperbole and, you know, making it seem like it wasn't as bad as it is and it was going to be. And because politics, they wanted to be, it was just politics. Right. So you see, there are people who care about people and people who use politics. So I'm going to skip ahead to where she talks about the narrative here.
Partisanship and their bias and them, you know, trying to defy Trump, jeopardize the citizenry of their area. If they would have had the evacuation orders and warnings out telling the people to move out of those areas, there would be a lot less of what you're seeing of rescue.
Right.
And it kills the media that there's such a diversity of people in Texas that are helping each other. You see videos of African Americans pulling people out of 15 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot of water with their boats. You see whites pulling African Americans out of these stranded areas that are full of like 10, 15 feet of water. You see Hispanics out there rescuing people and being rescued. You see all kinds of people doing the rescuing and being rescued. All kinds, all types.
I love it.
So we're going to go and show you. Come with us to show you all kinds and all types. So I'm actually really excited about showing you all of the different rescues, which I have been I've been enjoying watching all day long. Unfortunately, it's hard to watch people, but you see the rescues happening. Like, with this much flooding, this quickly, we should see a lot more dead bodies than
we're not seeing them.
And we just see all these people helping all these people.
This is amazing. It's heartwarming.
You had the Cajun Navy coming in from Louisiana. Everybody, all their bass boats, all their hand-built boats.
Yeah.
Putting their air compressor motors on the back.
When I say that I'm proud to be an American, this is why.
Right.
Because I'm proud of my fellow Americans.
None of those guys, I guarantee you, were wondering, oh, if that's a black person, should I save them in the car?
Right.
So the whole white supremacy thing, it just dies the death.
Praise God. And you know what? This is an act of God unless you believe it was geoengineered, which is possible.
Poor
but still, it's an act of God.
Poor people were stuck waiting on them to bring these folks out. There was, I want to show you, there's a ton of relay going on in a lot of these rescues because not everything flooded completely. So you have a lot of people on a lot of islands, kind of like a lot of island hopping going on. Just boats and kayaks. Everybody, everywhere. Just helping people. Do you need help? A lot of people were staying behind, and if they could, I'll show you some pictures. Some people put their tents on top of the roof. Look at those twins. They're so cute.
They're so cute.
I'm also going to show you a video from a CNN anchor that has everybody up in arms because
it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Somebody calling it like it is.
So these rescues all day long is what this lady says.
The Montgomery County Fire Department that went out to rescue these folks who were in high water.
I gotta say, a lot of Democrats,
Patriot Gallery,
and I'm serious, it's Democrats. I didn't hear a Republican say this, but they said bad things about rednecks.
They did.
But who do you think's saving all these people? The people with their bass boats, the people with their John boats, the people with their airboats.
Right.
These rednecks are the ones doing all the saving.
Yeah, it's probably me.
They are prepared. They know what to do.
Right.
They're highly intelligent people, and to insult them is so wrong.
Exactly.
Very true.
A lot of
I got that from Alex Jones, though.
A lot of these Cajun, people bringing all their boats, they would be considered rednecks. I've heard a few people saying some horrible things on how Texas deserves it for voting for Trump and stupid stuff like that.
Oh,
you really just have to let that stuff go and look at these videos.
I think the left or one of the news, somebody said, "Oh, I hope all those rednecks die."
Wow.
But you can't kill redneck. They know what to do.
Very true. Can't kill a redneck.
They're the survivors.
They are.
Boats and cars and trucks and look at all the. I mean, if you wanted to campaign on diversity, you would show these videos.
Right.
Black people, white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, black people, and they are all intermixed, all helping each other, helping the animals. I've got some videos I'm going to show you of rescuing horses, rescuing cattle. I mean, this is just. I mean, if this doesn't make you tear up, nothing will. Nothing will make you cry.
And seeing this inside you, this is unbelievable what we're seeing here. We're on just off of Forest Hollow Drive, and
they're on a road.
In this house, this is 7323. I'm trying to find the back porch. Is saying they're yelling, "Go to the back porch." The water is moving like nobody's business here, guys.
It's really moving. You can tell with that water. It's not just
their houses are in rivers.
Yeah.
Bayou Vista, and the people are on the back porch, and look at this Look at this. We've got power lines. We've got power poles. We've got guy wires. We've got somebody back here. Let's see if we can't get to them. A little further back down.
If you were surrounded by a river, I don't even know what would be going through my brain.
Oh my goodness.
We're coming to get you. I'm going to put this. Give me that microphone right
We'll just watch it.
Well, yeah, let it play out, Jeff. And Jeff's gonna, as he always does, and oh, there goes the video. It's frozen, but there it is. Yeah, all of the reporters, they've been actively engaged in just trying to be involved in the story.
Oh, I just want to cry. I'm just going to cry. Oh, somebody call the ambulance. Oh my gosh. You have a river surrounding your house. I can't. Your river through your house. Imagine a river around your house.
We're conveniently at the top of a hill. This is never going to happen to us.
But seriously, a river around your house.
No, it's insane.
You don't know what you're going to do. These people happened upon these people.
I know.
They're just standing there waiting for help. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a bit much for me. I've seen these. I've seen them.
Let me read some of the comments, though, because this is something I think we should all be engaged in. This person says, I'm a new subscriber. I love your videos. Good job, girls, watching from Brazil and praying for the hurricane victims. Sook says Bass Pro is donating about 80 boats for the rescue effort. Texas Cat said that Hillary won Houston 54-41, by the way. CRS says, ladies and visitors, I'd like you to consider for just a moment that MSM and its entirety is a propaganda tool. Very well said. Worth a look is from the UK, and he's like, yeah, these scenes are scary. He's one of our moderators. Please don't show the babies crying. It's just too sad to watch.
I haven't seen a whole lot of babies crying, which is fantastic. This is a group of 4 young black men rescuing an old white lady.
I love it.
They're recording it because they want their mamas to know.
I love
Mama, I rescued an old white lady today.
I love it.
And Mama be like, good son, thank you. See, I gotta catch myself.
It's so cute, but why did it cut off? That's
well, probably because he's got to finish rescuing.
Exactly, you're right. The redneck survivalist himself says everybody hates the rednecks until something bad happens, and then you need them.
I love this picture right here.
That is absolutely beautiful.
I mean, just the devastating, and then
there's going to be a lot of shots, I think, like that come out of this.
Exactly. So I want to read this. We're going to get some more videos because they're just like, I get so enthralled in them. But I wanted to kind of give you like a couple more pictures, and like this came out early this morning. Everybody started talking using this narrative, which is awesome because, listen, this was the Republican, conservative, libertarian narrative that came out this morning. Look at the love! Look at the people! We love people. We love each other, right? They jumped on it. They were excited. The anointing fell. People were happy. Yep. This is like one of the best rescues that have ever happened. I mean, these people are joyously helping one another.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely amazing. I get goosebumps. These are good, godly people. I mean, you've got some looters. You got somebody, I heard somebody was shooting some rescuers trying to steal their boat. We're going to talk about that. You know what? Because the overwhelming majority of people, look, this is the Cajun Navy right here, headed in with the boats to Houston. We saw this video yesterday, but it bears repeating.
Jumping in to help out? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where are you coming from? Texas City. Texas City? Yes, sir. What are you going to do? I'm going to try to save some lives. Yeah? Yes, sir.
I love it.
That sums it all up pretty much.
Just go and
save some lives. I was, you know, it was just, it was kind of mind-boggling to see the CNN and MSNBC.
If this is not a diverse post, I don't even know what is. We've got a guy, you know, blue, a police officer or a firefighter or whatever, and then you have all of these people from different walks of life.
Officer was stranded in high water with citizens. New friends made. That's from the Houston Police, Houston Strong.
I love that.
And guys, this is that we don't have. Listen, there might be issues across America, but that's not a racism problem right there. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's not a problem. Now, here we go. Here is the raw footage of CNN looking
okay, hang on.
like
this is hard to watch, though.
A nitwit. Well, yeah,
just play it. No, go ahead and watch it. It's just you're like, yeah, good job, CNN.
Let me introduce you to Danielle here. Danielle, you just arrived. Share with us how you were rescued.
Some guys had called our phone and asked us where we were. We was waiting for police for like 36 hours and they never came. And we was waiting at the home. We did the white flags and everything and nobody came. But then somebody had called the phone after we decided to leave the house, and we had walked to the gas station with the kids, and then they had called and came and picked us up. But we had been there like 5 days with no food and no lights, and nobody came. Like, nobody came.
Now you're with your children. We've heard of stories of mothers trying to save their children from the rushing waters. Can you tell us how that was?
4 feet of water to go get them food on the first day. Yeah, that's a lot of shit. But y'all sitting here, y'all trying to interview people during their worst times. Like, that's not the smartest thing to do. Like, people are really breaking down, and y'all sitting here with cameras and microphones trying to ask us what the fuck is wrong with us.
So I'm so
and
sorry.
you really trying to understand it with the microphone still in my face, with me shivering cold, with my kids wet, and you still putting the microphone in my face.
So, Mr. Flores, it sounds like you got a very upset family there.
Yeah, maybe.
We're going to take a break from that.
Take a break from
we'll
that
get back
right
to you
there.
later on. Russ Flores in Houston for us. Thank you.
You know, CNN, it's probably best for you never to go live with people.
With real ones.
Ever again.
Yeah, no,
You are just going to look really bad.
Bad idea.
Because here she is, she's acting like a reporter. The people on the scene, some of the reporters on the scenes, the local reporters, like our local 5, 9, and 12.
They were actually helping.
And they care about people.
Right.
Like, their hearts went out.
They live in these communities.
She's standing there just getting a story, and you can see this woman is shivering. She's like, and you know, you would like, if I would be like in tears giving this woman a hug. Like,
right.
Are you okay?
I want to set my microphone down and be like, you know what? I'm seeing people over there that have dry towels, dry clothes. Let's go over there, shut off. And you know, if the cameraman wants to record it, fine. But I would have been actively engaging and trying to help this lady. You guys would too. I know our viewers would have. This is absolutely. Well, I love how the guy was like, she sounds like you got an upset lady on your hands there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so, you have this, you have some weird people. There's a professor.
Oh, are you going to show the staging?
Yeah, we're going to get to that, but the NBC actually, staged a green screen in the background, making them look like they were in the hurricane.
Covering it, but they weren't there.
Well, the rain afterwards, but they weren't there. There's a professor, he called Harvey karma, and he actually learns the meaning of the word. And this is from Alan B. West, and he talks about the rise of left-wing bias and everything like that. And there was one professor in Florida took things too far, and he felt like Harvey was karma. And since Texas had the audacity to vote for Trump, he says, I don't believe in instant karma, but this kind of feels like it for Texas. Hopefully this will help them realize the GOP doesn't care about them. And he says, I deeply regret the statement I posted yesterday. I never meant to wish ill on any group. The University of Tampa said that he was relieved of his duties.
You got fired, son.
That was unfortunate for all involved.
No, not for the students. Now he's gone. They might be better off.
So I like this article here. This is from Breitbart. Message from Hurricane Harvey. Americans helping each other. After 3 days, and actually it's been since, what was it, last Friday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days. I want to make sure I got that right. The message emerging from Houston and the Texas coast is not one of chaos and destruction, but of collective strength as Americans help each other. There's a video, I think I might have it, I'm not sure, where this man is walking down the street. He doesn't know where he's going with his, 6-year-old son or something. He doesn't know where he's going, and he gets interviewed in the midst of, where are you going? I don't know. But I just thank God I'm okay. And me and my son. It's just beautiful. We want to go over the heroes. We want to go over the amazing things that are happening. I think that there's a scripture in the Bible that says, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And I do not believe that God brought a hurricane to punish anyone or to inflict harm on anyone. However, this hurricane has shown light, and God is using it for good, to bring people together,
right,
and to show the world what America really is, because Donald Trump has been hammered in the press. Republicans have been hammered. But look But we keep turning the other cheek, which is what Christians do.
Right.
We always turn the other cheek.
And you wait until God gives you the opportunity to show your true colors.
Right.
Instead of having to go out and defend yourself and be on the defensive the whole time, you just wait, and God will give you an opportunity.
Yeah, as Donald Trump said in his press conference.
Are we going to show any of those? Because I pulled up a bunch of those
yes.
videos.
Okay. We are one American family. We hurt together. We struggle together. We believe, and believe me, we endure together. We are one family. And the Finland leader remarked, it has been touching to watch the TV and see how people help each other. This is what we basically are built for, helping one another. And I just get goosebumps again and again.
Hang on, that sentence bears repeating. This is basically what we were built for,
right?
Helping one another.
Right, exactly. So they just have the. Let's see. Here, I want to show you some more pictures here. There's just handing off a baby, like what iconic picture here. Here, this is what Brian was talking about, Bass Pro Shops to provide boats for rescue efforts. Unfortunately, this Houston Police Department, Sergeant Steve Perez, he tragically died when he accidentally drove his patrol car into floodwaters.
Oh my God!
I know. It's that I wanted to bring bring that to light. It's very sad. And let's see. Look at this one. Rescuer jet skis grandma out of her home. This is a black guy on a jet ski.
That is fantastic. Look at the smile on his face. I don't know if you guys can see that from here. That is fantastic.
Grandma getting jet skied out of her home in Houston. There have been alligators because
we knew this was going to happen.
350 alligators have escaped the East Texas Gator Farm.
No!
So they're showing up on people's doorways. Now watch this. Oops. This is the Essex Freeway, I-69, lost its side barrier to floodwaters. I am hearing reports that bridges are collapsing. I'm hearing reports that they have had to open up some of the dams, and therefore some houses are flooding because of some of the dams releasing some pressure there. It's just so
it's like it's creating like a wave there.
Water. It's so much water. I think 52 inches so far. 52 inches. 50 and at the same time, did you guys know that Houston floods more than any other city in the entire country because of its poor drainage?
Well, and not just poor drainage, it's because the entire city is concrete. There's not anywhere for the rain to go. We know this particularly when our neighbors built their house behind us and they put in a giant driveway, like pretty much their entire front yard is all concrete because it's a driveway. They have a very large house. So now that that house is there and that huge driveway is there, when it rains, the ground isn't soaking up the water and it all floods into our backyard.
All right, you ready? Here's the guy. Here's the dad.
Tell me about your day.
Man, we came home yesterday. It wasn't raining. 45 minutes later, we in the flood. But we stayed on the first floor of the apartments. And water just started coming in, so we went to the second floor.
And so how did they get you in that basket?
We climbed out the window where the sliding doors, and they just strapped us in.
And what's your name?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, how old's your son?
He's sick, Jeremiah Jr.
Yeah.
We thank God. We thank God.
Look at him looking at the camera.
Yeah, that's all we got. We lost the car, all the clothes, school clothes, everything gone.
They're going to need donations.
Where do you go now?
Massive amount of donations.
We don't know.
What you thankful?
Yeah. We thankful. God did it.
God did it, he said. Jeremiah says God did it.
Listen to a man named Jeremiah.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That just brings me to tears. This is just so different than anything any other tragedy I have ever seen.
I know.
I've never seen so much.
Do you remember
love.
when Hurricane Katrina happened and everybody was very angry and looting and it was really horrible? Right. That's not at all what we're seeing here. I want to go back to a comment that Donna Terry had posted earlier. And she, I gotta see if I can find it. It's been a while ago. She says, but once all is said and done and things go back to normal, will the people go back to being abnormal? And that's a very good question. I think that these people, everyday Americans, the ones that you know, the ones that we know, you and I, and Leah too, we want to do this. We want to be this. We want to help people. But unfortunately, in our society, it takes an act like this to actually spur people on to be that kind of helpful. Because let's say you want to approach a single mom on the street and give her some money. Let's say you're a single guy, right? Or a married one, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you're a dude and you want to hand her money. Well, you know what? She could then, like, I don't know, cry, you molested me, you raped me, you whatever. There's so much going on in the world that now we live in this era where you can just sue people on demand, and it's chaos. The government takes all of your money so that you don't have any to actually give to people. We live in a society that is created to keep people from giving. And so my encouragement is, for those of you that are watching, to spread the word that we ought to be doing these kinds of things every day, even if there isn't a flood. There are people every day that are suffering.
Right.
That could use our help. It doesn't take a flood to make us want to help them. Or shouldn't, I should say. All right, let's hear about this lady and her little puppy.
Okay, so I want you to follow me with this, because this isn't about the puppy or the lady. But we're going to point out, this is the green screen video, and it comes at minute 141. But we're actually going to play a portion of their coverage. And
worst flood in memory is coming.
What's your name?
Monica Carpenter told us she had nowhere to go after she barely missed the last bus of evacuees.
You missed the bus?
Or whatever they have to go on. So now I'm just stuck.
Her panic overwhelming.
Somebody still here so I can see the phone. I don't have a phone, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Stop. Did you see this? This is the mainstream media. I'm going to play this again if you did not catch this.
Her panic overwhelming.
Anybody here have a phone so I can use a phone? I don't have a phone. I don't have anything.
Okay.
How desperate is your situation now, ma'am?
Pretty daggum desperate. Here, let me put my mic down so that I can get somebody to come and help you.
I want to take a baseball bat to this man's head, and if it's a misdemeanor and I have to spend a night in jail, that's fine.
Well, if he died, you would spend like...
Well, I wouldn't hit that hard. I don't want to go for manslaughter, but I kick him in the shin or something.
That's more...
Fine. This is the mainstream media. This is the same... This is like the CNN... You would say, here I have a phone. You don't say, how desperate is your situation here, ma'am? What kind of question? This is the liberal elites
that don't live on planet Earth,
who push racism every day.
Yep.
And the plight of the poor person, the plight of the black person, the plight of every plighted person in the plighted world. They have never missed a meal. They have never gone without their safe space. They've never gone without an award and a trophy for every game.
Does he offer her any help?
It's bad. It's really bad.
She'd ignored Bay City's mandatory evacuation order until now.
It doesn't show him. He's just still trying to talk to this
But I love
poor
the very
woman in
next
trauma.
sentence that says, she ignored the basic evacuation plan, pretty much blaming her in that moment. You know what? We can save blame for later. Let's just help the lady out.
Authorities predict Harvey could ravage this town of 18,000 people with as much as 10 feet of
Segment
water.
number 1, NBC.
This is the Colorado River, expected to overflow its banks very soon, possibly flooding the
I'm not
entire
going to let this
downtown
negativity
miles
overwhelm
away.
my positivity, but
County
this
Judge
is what
Nate
this is how
McDonald
Democrats
estimates a third
react.
of the town is choosing to
Elite
stay.
Democrats react.
How
to
serious is the situation right now?
It's completely serious. It's
is
it's just catastrophic seriousness for us. We've got a Colorado River about a half mile that way that's projected to come up to potentially record flooding.
But hundreds of residents did heed the warnings and escaped on the...
By the way, the Houston mayor, I can play you the video, he said, stay put, stay put, stay put.
Last buses out to nearby Rosenberg this afternoon.
I was calling the storm a bluff from the beginning, but I guess it made a believer out of me.
Tonight, as the raging river rises, this town's future is in limbo. But as we spoke with Monica Carpenter, someone she knew recognized her and gave her shelter.
It took somebody that she knew, not the cameraman.
Just in time.
Just in time because you couldn't help anyone.
Here's NBC News, Bay City, Texas.
Wow.
NBC News.
Okay,
here we go.
Here is our green screen. Now,
this is embarrassing.
Pay attention here, folks, because this should go viral. Just this video, and I have put it on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, follow me. Tweet this out, you guys, because this is hilarious to me. Okay, it starts at minute 141. Now, if your eyes are not playing tricks on you, they should be being washed away in the water.
But their coats are a little damp, like they've been out in the rain.
Someone put them in hats and rain jackets inside a building and sprinkled water on them. Are you ready?
Dylan Dreyer has been tracking every step of the storm. And Dylan, as you've been warning, this thing is far from over, including another landfall. I just shake my head at that.
Why did they sprinkle the water?
Hours, if you will.
Well, we are going to see a third landfall, most likely near Galveston, Texas. And we are looking at that to happen early Wednesday morning. In the meantime, this whole system is still dumping tons and tons of rain in the Houston area, in Bay City, in Victoria. We're starting to see it lighten up a bit. Now it's shifted over into Louisiana, and because all across the area, because as you've noticed, the rain comes down heavy at times and it doesn't let up.
Do you see the spray? Do you see the rain?
And it's not
like in front of the camera, but not on them.
I walked out here 20 minutes before this broadcast. I was standing on the
I
side
walked out
I'm in
here.
the water, a little bit of water, but it's coming.
But you can tell they're in front of a green screen. You can totally tell. He's like, I walked out here. You mean you walked in the studio?
Now, somebody can prove me wrong, that's fine, but as soon as it comes up, my first reaction, and other people's on Twitter too, are
you
saying
can tell as soon as it comes. That's a green screen. You can just
tell. Your eyes are not.
And Dylan, as you've been warning, this thing is far from over, including another landfall. I just shake my head at that. Walk us to the next days and hours, if you will.
Well, we are going to.
Okay, so my opinion is green screen on this, but
yeah,
we'll see. Okay, so we're enough of their crazy stupidity. All right, so I want to take you to the awesome Trump reception that he received today, and they get him up on like I got it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. You are special. We're here to take care. It's going well. And I want to thank you for coming out. We're going to get you back and operating immediately. Thank you, everybody. What a crowd. What a turnout. I want to thank our governor. Your governor has done a fantastic job. Governor Abbott, thank you very much. Who's right here someplace? He's right here. So we just want to thank your governor, Senator Cruz, Senator Cornyn, everybody, Dan. We want to thank the whole group. This has been a total cooperative effort. Again, we will see you soon. I will tell you, this is historic. It's epic what happened. But you know what? It happened in Texas, and Texas can handle anything. Thank you all.
Now hold on, though, because at the end he holds up the Lone Star flag. This is so great. And then the crowd goes wild. Because he holds up the Lone Star flag. I love that he went there and he really promoted the Texans. You know, Texans can handle anything, and you don't have to be from Texas to feel that.
Right.
You know, and to be proud of them. Somebody had left a comment earlier asking, and I want to get back to it before I forget, what is wrong with them using the green screen? If you missed it, what we were saying, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them using a green screen. If they had been inside of the studio and they weren't dressed as if they were outside, and if they didn't say pretty much that they were outside, he said, I came out here. If they're not actually outside and they're inside wearing coats and hats and are wet, unless they literally walked inside from being outside and said, this is footage of when we were outside a few minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? It's a fake. There was no reason for them to do that unless they weren't there.
My gut tells me green screen. I'm going to do some more research.
Well, somebody else had pointed out that you can actually see the black outline around their bodies and stuff. You can just see when it gets
unless
pulled up,
they've got some super focused lens that makes their bodies pop out and the back look like a green, look like you're watching television.
It's unfortunate. It's really sad.
Okay, so I want to play this. This is actually a really neat, long, an hour and 15 minutes. I just kind of play in the background. I'm going to show you some highlights of some rescues. I want to play for you just Donald Trump's initial words. Why? Because he doesn't take the forefront. He gives praise to where praise is due, and then he lets everybody else do their thing. This is what Donald Trump is good at. He's good at letting good people do good things and getting out of the way, which is what he has tried to do. Unfortunately, so many bad people are in the swamp, and he hasn't been able to do that.
Right. One more comment, though, before you press play. Somebody had said, it sounds weird to cheer during a catastrophe like this. And in part, I think that you're right. But when you think about, let's say you were in that situation, and you're realizing that your fellow Texans are desperate. You have just gone through something tremendous, and the President of the United States shows up and says, Texans can endure. You know what I mean? You're not going to fall apart. We're going to help you. We're going to come together as a family.
Texas strong.
Then, yeah, after that, you're going to cheer.
You need cheer,
you
guys.
You need that. You don't want to be solemn.
You need to say, we're going to take this by the bull horns, a Texas style.
Right.
Right? We're going to help each other Texas style.
Exactly.
This is why you have cheerleaders during a football game. Because when you're down, 2 or 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, you need somebody to come and say, you can do it, right?
Yes.
So that's why you cheer.
Right.
And this group of folks, our acting director, Elaine, thank you very much for the job you've done, and a man who's really become very famous on television over the last couple of days, Mr. Long. We appreciate it very much.
She's got a hat that says Focus.
And I can tell you...
Well, somebody had pointed out how good she looked. She was fit. She's got gym shoes on. She was ready for... She wasn't dressed as like the First Lady.
She had heels on coming off, and the whole Twitter universe went crazy. She has gym shoes on now.
Oh, for crying out loud.
We want to do it better than ever before. We want to be looked at in 5 years and 10 years from now as this is the way to do it. This was of epic proportion. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And I just want to say that working with the governor and his entire team has been an honor.
I don't know if you guys can even hear that. I'm sorry, the audio is not
So he says this has been
good.
of epic proportion. Working with the governor has been fantastic.
Governor, thank you very much. And we won't say congratulations. We don't want to do that. We don't want to congratulate. We'll congratulate each other when it's all finished. But you have been terrific. Really terrific. And you've been my friend here for a long time.
You've been my friend too.
Thank you, Mr. President.
So the whole community is coming together. Right here where the brunt of the Category 4 hurricane winds came in just north of Corpus Christi, we're already starting to affect recovery.
So I'm going to go ahead and skip forward here to some of the rescues.
There's an extensive network of first responders, but the thing that has really impressed us and has really blown us away in this whole effort is the number of citizens who have come out to help their fellow neighbors. I was driving down one of the few still open portions of I-10 this morning, and there was a huge line of boats that were all headed toward downtown Houston.
I love it.
And there were a couple of Texas Game Warden boats in there, but they were mostly, the vast majority were just regular citizens in T-shirts.
It'll get going.
He's got a lot of experience. He used to be...
Let's see.
They just picked up these 2 women, and they are getting them off the boat, trying to get them back to dry land. The streets here are rivers. That's why they're able to use boats like this right now. You can see all the people that have come together to help. It is one of the bright spots in all this. You can see them carrying these people literally on their backs right now to get them to safety. These guys continue to walk the boat out, so the water is not deep enough necessarily to use the motor, so they're pushing this boat, walking.
On some of their, you have these flooded streets, they're using boats, but sometimes they couldn't use the motor, so they literally were just walking the boats back and forth rescuing people.
Back and saving people. We've got these big trucks over here as well that are coming through because regular vehicles aren't able to make it. It's one of the areas that got bad in the past 24 hours like so many other areas have, and we had a little bit of a break from the rain, but it's picking up right now, but it's not seeming to deter anyone. They're still out here rescuing people. They keep making rounds back into this neighborhood. We've had people flag us down and tell us that they need some help, they need some assistance. You can see people unloading supplies over here. There's so many people getting off. They're just able to carry what they have. They're getting off these vehicles and going to shelter, and they don't have anything with them, water, food, or any supply.
I'm really kind of shocked when these people are leaving their houses. They don't have anything. They just have backpacks.
I know.
They're just leaving.
Right.
So they are trying to restock them right now.
Think about people with medicine.
It's inspiring
I mean, this has got to be, you know, devastating for
people
somebody.
coming out to help, especially because they're not paid to do this. They're just coming out and doing the right thing. Would you mind telling us what brings you out here? Why are you helping people?
There just wasn't a whole lot more important going on in Austin, to be honest with you. 6th Street's fun and all that, but we just kind of saw what was going on, and we had the boat, and we knew we could make the drive with our trucks and stuff, so we just decided to come.
What have you seen whenever people are they? I'm sure pretty appreciative when they get rescued.
Oh yeah, I think more shocked than anything. You know, I mean, you'll see the look on a lot of their faces, and I think a lot of people over there thought that the water wasn't as bad as it was. So you can kind of just see it's almost just a look of just total, I don't know, confusion more than anything. But yeah, certainly everyone's appreciative, and we're happy to do it. You know, it's nothing really off our back to come out and do it. So so yeah, it's just, you know, it's crazy to see it, and it definitely makes you think twice about.
I can play it. Do you want to say something?
Yeah. Here's my thoughts right now. I think still going on is a march of Antifa protesters from Charlottesville to Washington, D.C. 10 days. And one of the things that we remarked on here at Resistance Chicks was, how are they getting 10 days off of work? Who is going to use, most people only get 10 days of vacation time for work. Who is going to use their 10 days of vacation to do a march for Antifa and BLM and head from Charlottesville to Washington, D.C.? These people, their bosses, had better give them the time off with pay. Okay? This is when you take off from work and just say, you know what? I don't even care if I have a job when I get back. I'm going to go and help people. Right. Okay? So right now we have this thing going on where we have people leaving their homes, leaving their jobs, taking their boats and going to rescue people, taking time off of work. Right. And we also have the Antifa and BLM going from Charlottesville to Washington, D.C. and take off work to protest.
It's not just Antifa. It's
what they ought
to
do is divert. If I was in charge of that march, I would say, you know what, guys? Hold up. Our political agenda is going to be put on hold. Everybody that's taking these 10 days off of work, we're all going to head down to Texas and start saving people.
They don't want unity. Unity, if races come together, people come together, then they don't have anything to be upset about.
My brother now, because at first we were just trying to help everybody out, but he was ready to come out and just go home because we've been here since 6 this morning. But now that he knows my brother's out there,
there's people that rescue people at 6 a.m. in this area trying to go
let's turn
get
around
people
so people
back.
See the water, because you were telling me about wading through and trying to get through the water. How dangerous is the work out here?
Well, we tried to cross the bridge to see maybe how far we could go to get, like, I don't know, paddle boat, something to get those people out. But I mean, the current took us, so we just turned back. We turned back around.
And all of these are just volunteers. They just started coming.
There are, in this particular instance, there's like 100 people stuck in like kind of an island of homes, and there's kids.
We did the first rescue with some kids, a lot of kids, and then people just started coming. People just started showing up with their boats, and then
people just started showing up with their boats
and dropping enough food and drinks, and everybody just came together.
It's a hard situation because the good news is people are coming together, but man, I mean, to know that there's hundreds of people on the other side. I know Jeff Ewing was on the other side a couple hours ago, but since then it's now impassable. You cannot get through. Wow. Very, very dangerous. And the winds picked up, the rain's picked up. We know that the Goose Creek ISD does have buses here. It's about a football field length away from where we are, the other direction, on the other side of this Walgreens, which is sort of a staging area because it's just simply built up. Once they get on those buses, they will then go to some of the local schools, elementary schools.
There's just people walking up and down streets. And let me see, there's this video is actually pretty cool because they showed so many different rescues. Here's another. This
Marla
one.
Carter. Marla is we've been those Barker and Cypress, or excuse me, the Barker and the Adams reservoirs dams had to release some water.
All the cars gone
due to all the flooding situation.
They said there's going to be more damage.
And as a result, you're seeing all of this.
More car damage than in
I'm curious though how the insurance claims work for this. You know what I mean, for the cars, because that's flooding isn't exactly something you're used to.
Just food in general.
This reporter is with this guy. They don't actually rescue anybody here, but it's just interesting to see them going through like apartment complex. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm okay. There's a lot of people waving from like the second floor that they're okay.
When in fact,
they're just gonna, you know.
People to the point where we've just
I can understand if you have enough food and water, the water will, recede. That you might stick around.
And then they'll make it. I don't know if you can see. There's a corner. This corner of people where you see that huge crowd. That is not just evacuees. The majority of those people are volunteers that have come here. They're waiting to receive these people, take them in, figure out if they need medical care, figure out if they need food or water, or if they need a place to stay. And they're also
all these
pulling
relays
boats
happening.
in as they come to them. Obviously, this is not. This is just
Then
a
there's
makeshift.
one more extraordinary story here at the end of a poor.
Having problems.
Well, let me get to this guy here first. He's
around here and look in this particular direction. You can see
this guy's a weatherman for this news channel,
designed to help to keep
and he goes to tell you
far distance there.
Look,
you want to know how deep this water is? It is sitting at 16 feet 6 inches right now. It hasn't really moved all that much in the time that we've been out here, and that has been about 30 minutes. Now, I do want to say one more thing about this.
16 feet 6 inches there,
and that is in theory.
That's just crazy. So there's at the end here is a man who was hanging onto a sign, a street sign, for 24 hours before he was rescued. So she's going to tell the story.
Yeah, you know, there's so much news. I know you had to break away, but when you did, what played out in front of our eyes was incredible. We were just down there. Just want to bring you back to that moment when all of this happened. In fact, that Black Hawk that was in the area is still here. They are still circling, looking for other people out here, no doubt, who need to be saved. But I want to tell you exactly what happened to those two guys. They are okay, which is awesome.
Great.
It was unbelievable. We were out there and we watched the Coast Guard. I want to show you this video. Excuse me, not the Coast Guard. This is the National Guard, and two guys lowered down right in front of us. I gotta say, about 100 yards from us. I hope you're looking at the video right now. But it happened just in front of us. They lowered down. I went over to talk to them. What happened? They said, remember when they were dangling around the power lines? You're exactly right. It was way too windy over there. They could not get close to those guys, so they had to move back. They dropped. But listen to this. This is the incredible part. People who are watching ABC 13 saw us saying, hey, there's a guy trapped. Hey, we don't know what's going to happen to him. They came out with a boat the same time that the National Guard lowered down. So before the National Guard could even get to these two guys, one clinging to a sign, one clinging to the top of that truck, the guys, the Good Samaritans in a boat, went over to them and they pulled them off the sign and off of that truck. Those two guys didn't even know each other. The one who was clinging to the truck went in to save the other person, a complete stranger. I talked to both of them right after this all happened. Check this out, watch.
I heard somebody yelling for help, and I barely saw his hand. So
Holding the sign when you heard him.
he was holding on to that white sign down there. He's been there since yesterday afternoon.
Holding the sign for that long.
Yeah.
So like 24 hours.
And I had my phone in the bag, and I called my wife. He's in the back right here. There he is.
Are you okay? You're okay?
Yeah.
You were holding on a long time.
Put the shirt on.
It's okay?
Yes. Put the shirt on.
Oh my gosh. What do you think? What do you say?
I said put a shirt. I gave him a shirt.
Oh my God.
Telling him to put a dry shirt on.
How long have you lived in Houston?
Yesterday evening.
You've been holding on since yesterday?
Yes.
Were you in the truck?
No, in storage.
What happened? Yeah.
My truck is there.
That's your truck?
Yes.
The big truck?
Big truck.
I'm glad you're okay.
Yes.
Thank you for talking for me. Here, go get warm. Get something to eat. Thank you.
See, that's how a reporter should report.
Yes, go get some. Leah, your phone's going off, buddy. Go
Okay,
get some food. Go get warm.
I just want to double check. Okay, so you heard. You've been holding on to.
So the one guy went in to rescue him. He got stuck too, and then people rescued him. And
Right.
I was just floored. I had to show you that story. It just made my day.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Okay, so I want to go back to one of these comments, and I don't like to bring out the negative comments, but they're part of the discussion, and some people may be thinking this question, so I want to address it. They said, I haven't seen any alt-right groups taking off from work to go and help. Why call out the group that you don't agree with? Here's the thing. There are several people, and the alt-right, let's call them the KKK for a second. They're not all KKK or whatever. I think that's who you're talking about. Let's say KKK, you know, whatever. They don't have a march going on right now. And if they did, and they were doing it, then I would call them out. What I'm saying is, if you are trying to put forth a political agenda and you're marching, then maybe now isn't the time to be doing that during a crisis. That was my point.
And the media and people on the left are constantly labeling every Trump supporter alt-right.
Exactly. So actually, as far as the media is concerned, there's so many alt-right people that have come.
All these rednecks.
All these rednecks coming out.
These Louisiana rednecks, these Texan rednecks, these Trump supporters, these and if they were if these rescuers were in Berkeley,
yes,
the Antifa and all of the liberal elites would march against them and say you are full of hate.
Yes.
And so what we're trying to show you is that there might be a few people in this country who are full of hate.
Right.
But Trump supporters are, by and large...
Yeah. There could totally be Antifa people there rescuing people. There could totally be BLM people there rescuing people. I'm sure there are. Okay? We will definitely establish that. But there's an entire group and a movement, and if I was the head of that group and that movement, I would, just for publicity's sake, if not for having a good heart's sake, I would get up and say, okay, hang on, guys. Wait a minute. There's a tragedy happening in our country. Let's regroup. We'll do this again when there's not a tragedy happening.
We call out other people. Yet earlier today, it was a big thing on Twitter that Joel Osteen had not opened up his church yet and tweeted out another little platitude like butterflies will make you happy type thing. He got flack on Twitter, and so they said even though we are flooded, they started to get all kinds of air mattresses ready, and they're ready in case they need an overflow. And so I'm ready. I'd rather call out the big name preachers more than anybody else. I'd rather call out them than the Antifa because those are my people. I know who they are. I went to ministry school. I know these people. That's my MO. I call them out every day, all the time. Now, this one is hilarious. Just listen.
This is being rescued. Please pay attention and stay focused. This is a lot happening. It's a lot of stress. Even if you're feeling out of control, the person next to you might not. And that was really an example of what we're seeing here. Look at them sharing water just out of the cap of that bottle. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was water.
Well, whatever they need to feel better, guys. Let's just let that one... Let them have a little...
We'll continue to monitor this. And
what they need.
If they should... we'll monitor Bill's video and if they should...
There's the water. See,
all right, excellent.
There's water
Thank
there.
goodness for that.
There's water.
And reminder, talk about grab what you need.
She's
grab
never
what you
going
need,
to live that down. That was
if you are in the process of being rescued,
Nancy Pelosi moment.
This is a lot
Look at them just sharing that water out of that cap.
Just a cap full of water at a time.
And that was really an example of
a cap full of water.
Sharing water just out of the cap of that bottle.
I love how the Fox News reporter on the other was like, yeah.
Well, they need to feel better, guys.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry. Where did you find that? That is awful.
I don't know.
That is awful. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. And that is why we're just YouTubers. Because I would be making mistakes like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Okay, here's some
Make
more.
vodka great again.
Here are a few more rescues here we have for you. I have a few more rescues. Then we're going to go to today's news. Yes, even the Washington Post had to put together something.
Well, of course they did. They're not going to be left out of this. And you know what? This is real footage, so you can be excited about heroism and to hurt for the
Texas,
people
this
there.
is a landmark event. We have not seen an event like this. You could not draw this forecast up. We need the whole community. Not only the federal government forces, but this is a whole community.
Okay, we're done.
This gentleman here is using his boat to rescue people stranded here on 45 headed north. He's bringing the people here to the community center.
anybody needs anything, I help them the best I can.
He's ready. He's got
I
waiters.
live right there, and last time we flooded like this, I went and bought this John boat. I'm like, if it ever happens again, I'm going to have a boat here.
Wow.
I want everybody to be safe and be able to get out of the neighborhood and stuff.
They're just hanging out.
I would just give it up for these guys, two brothers and their father. They are from Austin. They have not slept. They just came down here because they've got 2 flat bottom boats and a Sea-Doo, and they know people need help. So they've got life jackets all ready to go in this thing.
We have a boat coming. I'm gonna fly these guys down. There's a truck driver stuck here about 10 feet of water. Put in the boat in just now. They're on their way.
See, that's a reporter doing her job.
There was a woman, we were about to leave this neighborhood, there was a woman who had kind of flagged us down that her and her 2 elderly parents were still stuck inside the home. So I'm going to put the mic down. We're going to help them
Thank
try to
you.
get back into the boat so we can get them out of here.
I'm gonna put this mic down. Careful, they bruise easy. Look at this. Look at it. Little puppy! My kids are still trapped, yes. The people getting trapped in these cars, there's nowhere to go from there.
They say that when you die in one of these things, in a hurricane or something, it's because of driving in a car.
Right. Wow.
Okay. Democracy dies in darkness. Well, shit, yeah.
All right, let's go back to the comments for a minute. Let's see. About 5 liberal teachers lost their jobs tweeting bad stuff about the hurricane and people. That does not surprise me at all. We know a lot of people have been losing their jobs. We covered one of them. Let's see. Why isn't the news reporting on looting and shots fired at rescue boats and the Cajun Navy?
I have heard a little bit about that. For me, I'm so excited about the positive stuff. I like Antifa and the crazy thugs would just like blah, but you're right, the media isn't really reporting on them.
And it's interesting that the guy that was rescued earlier in one of the videos was a foreigner rescued by a local redneck. It fits the agenda almost too perfectly, don't you think?
You see the dog? The dog was hanging onto the rail and she was saved.
Look at that!
I can't give you too many animal ones because people, you really should feel more about people, but the animal ones hurt me more.
Because they're, a little, animals feel a little bit, you feel like they're a little bit more helpless. Have the military helped with aid? I think the military has definitely been involved. FEMA is sure having trouble getting into the limelight of civilians rescuing and taking care of each other. Let's see. We do need to get medicine to these folks. A lot of people are on regular medicines. Look at the horse. Oh my gosh.
He breaks the horse free. And then he puts the... this is a cowboy right here. This is a cowboy.
This is so
he breaks
right.
the horse free. And then he's got a lasso around the horse so that when he gets the horse out...
Whoa.
He's got... this is a cowboy, man. I am so impressed right now. I can't even tell you. This is like all-star move.
It is. It is very, very good. Peter Martin says, America is back in business, ladies. And I agree. I think this is exactly... Here's the thing, like I mentioned earlier, an act of God. We never know why God does the things that he does.
This makes me want to cry. Just like... No,
but we're seeing a lot of people come together because of this. A lot of people said that about 9/11, but when it's the government that actually does it, then you don't quite feel as good about coming together as an American. Right. So yeah, to me, this is really, really exciting to see. Texans are strong. They'll recover. Pray for Texas. Let's see. What else do we have?
There's another person on the horse with the camera. You can keep going. We can just watch some of these videos.
Ray J says, I have seen what is going on here, and the folks in this area are working very hard to help each other and save their pets, etc.
Thank you.
Ray, it sounds like you're there on the ground, so I appreciate you that comment. InfoWars is trying to find churches that are helping people. The mega church refused to help.
That was the thing they're talking about, Joel.
Oh, Joel Osteen. I think yeah. That mega. I thought you meant like make America great again. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Wow. And that's a strong amount of water.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We got the horse. We have this puppy floating.
Look at the puppy.
He's got a bucket boat. Let's see. We saw this the other day. A dog.
He's got his dog food. I'm taking my food with me.
He got home. I think that this one I can't talk about abandoned dogs tied up.
So
but the photographer rescued him. Yeah.
You should never, ever, ever tie up an animal in a flood.
So this guy, this displaced dog jumped into his Jeep. There's a couple of videos, and then he got back to the owner in this video.
Nuh-uh.
Mm-hmm. He put a thing out on
What's that?
He put a thing out on social media
with a picture.
Alright. How much are you? Good, dude. Aaron, Jacob. That's real solid. This is your guy? Yes, sir. Looks like he recognizes you, doesn't he? Let's go.
I love it! It makes me so happy! I love it!
Yeah, so are you the guy I talked to before?
And the sheriff is all like, "Get your flying dog, your
puppy!" He wasn't taking what I found him. He's like, "No."
Oh my God!
I should have said, "Get out the tissue."
So Brian says that the video with the hawk was awesome. Are you gonna play that?
Yeah, and then we have this hawk that just got into somebody's car.
Well, guys, this Cooper hawk, really pretty fella, has sought refuge in my cab here, and he seems to be scared. He don't know what's going on. Hurricane Harvey is getting ready to barrel down through over here, and
I think it's illegal.
He just kind of doesn't want to leave. He
can't be illegal.
He don't know what's going on. Maybe
you know what I mean,
like a hurricane, but he just kind of hopped on in and
I'm in the way.
Doesn't want to leave. Not sure what to make of it, and I've tried to get him out of here. He's not hurt. He just don't want to leave the car. He seems like he's afraid. I don't know why. But he's not afraid of me. He's actually kind of comfy cozy right now. How the hell does this happen? A hawk wants to seek refuge in your vehicle because of a hurricane coming. Is that normal? Any suggestions? Anyone know anything about the behavior of hawks that I can... Oh, hell.
Oh, man. That was so funny.
Okay, so,
all right.
There we go.
One of the beauties of us going live is the comment section. And normally I would stay on topic, but I think that this is a really good question, even though I think I already addressed one from Evan. Evan Porter says, "I'm sorry I never get to catch y'all live. I just would like to ask you guys, when was America great? As a black man, I can't recall when America was great for us. Sorry, I'm off subject."
Okay, so that is, I can understand the feeling and I can understand the sentiment. I really don't have a time or an opportunity to bring you from the beginning and the inceptions of our country to where we are now. But if I could give you just kind of, and I love that you're watching, and
keep watching because we address this subject
all the time,
almost in every single one of our videos. I want to say,
you know, there's 100 different ways to look at this. I think that the lens you're looking at is, as a black man, you have to be thinking about slavery and how black people were essentially treated.
Not just slavery, but prejudices through the years and segregation and things like that.
So instead of looking at things at a micro level, it's best to look at things at a macro level. And at a macro level, we have these pilgrims who are being persecuted in their country, that they were put in jail for their religion. Well, they could have been black, they could have been Hispanic, they happened to be from the Church of England, okay? And they went to Leiden, Holland, and the Church of England followed them there. And they banned their printing press from even printing anything, any Christian materials. And so you have a group of people who are ousted out, not because of the color of skin, but because of their beliefs.
Right.
They couldn't practice their beliefs. They had to go in secret and operate their Christian faith by themselves. And you have to see not just your own pain, but the pain of others. okay, or the fight of others.
Right.
And so if you look at the world through the lens of a black person, or if I look through the lens of a white person, we look through the lens of humanity,
right,
and in a bigger lens, God's creation.
Yeah.
And we're all created the same.
And so, with that, one of the things that I would encourage a lot of people to go back and watch, like Kirk Cameron's Monumental, to understand the Pilgrims' plight and how they came to America in 1620, landed on my birthday, November 9th, 1620. We feel a huge connection with them because they are our forefathers. There's our founding fathers and then our forefathers. And they came with a 500-year plan to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ to America. Okay, right. So we have the Mayflower Compact and things like that. So they really did create a foundation, spiritually speaking. They died. The first winter that they were here was the harshest that you can imagine. They went through
the winter of death.
They went through more
starvation. The winter
pain.
Of starvation.
They lost their loved ones. They were
eating. The food rations were 5 kernels of corn per person.
The couples had to get married within days of losing a spouse because they needed a family unit to stay together. And they literally said that we feel like we are laying down our lives so that our children can walk on our backs to freedom.
And I understand that there's a lot of people who say, but what about the natives? What about the Indians? Well, they happen to land in an area where a huge outbreak of a disease and had
like
wiped out
tons
like of, I don't think it was that, because that's a white man's disease.
Oh, you're right.
I don't know if it was that or not. But anyways, there was this huge opening of land. And there were the Indians that they did finally meet were the Wampanoag. And if you follow history, the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag actually created a 50-year-long peace treaty.
It was the longest treaty that ever lasted between the natives and...
There wasn't just a peace treaty. These people were friends. They worked with each other, they worked amongst each other, and they defended off, believe it or not, the Native Americans were fighting amongst each other.
There was always war, and there was always fighting. Right. There was a reason why, and I know we're totally off subject here, but this is about us bringing together America and bringing truth. So I have no problem taking a rabbit trail here. What you have to understand about the natives is the reason that they were called savages is because there were tribes, not all of them, but there were tribes that would scalp and that would rape and that would steal and kidnap people, women and children and things like that.
And use slaves.
And they used slaves. So there was a reason why they were called savages, and there was a reason why there was this kind of...
So you did have vicious tribes, and you had peaceful tribes.
And then you had vicious white men, and then you had peaceful white men.
Absolutely.
So what happened is they create, I say we because I really feel in touch with these people, they created a 500-year plan to create this beautiful, almost utopia. And I feel like that was the foundation of America right then and there. If you go to Plymouth, Massachusetts, you can see the monument to our forefathers. It's called the Matrix of Liberty. And we've covered videos on it. You can search them about it, how it is the foundation of how to create a beautiful society. And each statue represents something and things like that. So then what you have coming in is our founding fathers. And Britain is here, and you guys know that whole story, but what you may not know, our regular viewers probably do because we talk about it all the time, but what you may not know is our great founders, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Samuel Adams, who am I forgetting? Ben Franklin, you name them, all the greats were anti-slavery. And they did everything that they could. John Quincy Adams, who was John Adams' son, laid down his life and devoted his entire life to get slavery.
The hellhound of abolition. Now, to kind of put this all together, when was America great? America was like a baby born with these pilgrims. And remember, throughout history, you've had Genghis Khan, you've had the Caesars of Rome, you've had tons of rape and pillages. You've had Mohammed, right? You've had slavery. When was the world ever great, right?
Right.
I look at the hand of God and the hand of providence, right? Mm-hmm. So we say the hand of providence led the pilgrims here. Now, did the devil bring a lot of people over? Yeah. Did they mess up a lot of Indian treaties? Absolutely, right? But you have a man like William Penn who set up Pennsylvania, and he worked. He was known amongst the Indian tribes there as like this fantastic white man who worked with them and paid them for land and was very fair. These are the real Christians, right? This is the real essence of America. And you always have people migrating to other lands, right? You've always had people. So should everybody in Africa always just stay in Africa? Is it okay to come to America? You know what I mean? Should everybody, in Europe
there were a lot of, most, I would say, American. There were a lot of Indians here, all right? But this land is huge and vast. And there were a lot of the white men that just came over just to share the land with the Indians, not to take it over. Yeah, there were evil people.
The Pilgrims bought land from the Indians.
And there were a lot of people that did that. So I know you want to round this off, and I do too. But our point is, throughout history, America has been great, but we've been in this struggle to perfect it.
Right.
And unfortunately, when man was still moving west and man was farming before the great industrial revolution, America in the late 1800s had kind of reached this greatness of wholesomeness. And then we get to what we're fighting today, which was the birth and the inception of what we want to call as the globalists, Agenda 21, the Federal Reserve.
The Industrial Revolution.
And the Industrial Revolution was the catapult. Okay, it was the machine and the mechanism to make this agenda happen. And we have been deteriorating ever since. And most Americans have been fighting to remain great.
Read, and I would encourage everyone to read, Alec de Tocqueville's book on America when he came. He said that when he came through, every pulpit was on fire with the flames of righteousness. I believe it was John Adams who said you'll find a shooting star before you see an illiterate person. And if you look at the essence of the foundation of the world, pretty much, you've had slavery, you've had people treating people badly, you've had the King of England set up slavery in America. But what you don't really see today is how great our founding fathers were, how great Thomas Jefferson was, how great George Washington was, how great these men and women fighting for liberty. And they began to realize that their liberty was the same as the slaves' liberty coming over. And so I would love for you to check out Wall Builders, because I can't go through all of American history, but if you stick with us, we will go through
a couple of resources that we always try to plug, just because they've changed our lives, is the 5,000-Year Leap.
Yeah.
And David Barton's Jefferson Lies is a book that I think every American should read, in addition to going back to our forefathers, which is the inception.
Read their writings.
Their writings. You can start with Of Plymouth Plantation, written by William Bradford. That will give you the exact account of what happened. Those are his words of what happened when our forefathers, the Pilgrims, came here.
And I think that there are thousands, if not millions, of Black Americans, Black people across the world, who don't see themselves as historically a Black person, but they see themselves in history and Christian history. They don't see the color of their skin. They see, well, this is what happened to Christians. Those are my people.
Right.
This is what happened to Christians. Those are my people. So I want you to see the Pilgrims not as a bunch of white people coming over on a boat, but a bunch of Christians. If you're a Christian, those are your people.
Yeah.
Right? Those are your people. We're grafted into the body of Christ. We're now the body of Christ. Man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart.
And likewise, that can be flipped the other way. When we see what happened to our fellow Christian Black slaves, our hearts should ache as if that happened to our people.
Exactly.
All right, you guys. So we need to move on, because our title head says we're going to cover the top news stories for today.
Right.
So thank you guys for sticking with us, and part of our Resistance Chicks kind of monologue there.
All right. So top news stories of the day. Many of you might have heard about this soldier of Allah who was actually put in prison, I believe. Let me get this story right. We have a Detroit jihadist. He's 30 years old. His name is Sebastian Gregerson. He's a white guy. Has been behind bars since last summer and is awaiting sentences. But the point of this is the imam who bankrolled his arsenal still walks free to do what? train other jihadis, okay?
Wow.
Gregerson, according to the FBI filings in U.S. District Court in Detroit last week, has now been linked to at least one other jihadist, 26-year-old Yusuf Whaley, this is the guy down here,
right here,
who was born in Minnesota to parents who migrated to the U.S., compliments of the United Nations U.S. State Department Refugee Settlement Program. I believe he was a Somalian. He had traveled to the Middle East. Okay, so Whaley had traveled to the Middle East and boasted to undercover FBI agents that he had thought through plans to blow up a military recruitment center in Virginia if he could not join ISIS. Gregerson was nearly as ambitious in his plans to become a soldier for Allah. Gregerson views himself as a soldier for ISIS, Assistant U.S. Attorney Kathleen Corkin wrote in a filing on Monday. Like any other soldier, he is unlikely to relinquish this view of his identity by virtue of being in prison.
Yeah, probably not.
In fact, he considers himself a prisoner of war. Once released, he is likely to resume his activities for jihad in the cause of Allah. Gregerson was amassing weapons purchased with money sent to him by Suleiman Anwar Beng. You know why they have such hard names, so you can never pronounce them, so that you will never find them.
Well, that's also why they're all named like different variations.
We can do
of
Osama bin Laden all day long.
But they have different variations of the name Mohammed, so that you can't ever catch it.
Ben Harasara, sorry. He's a 60-year-old Libyan-born imam who leads mosques near Baltimore and Annapolis, Maryland, where he also has an active prison ministry converting criminals to Islam. The link between Gregerson and Whaley was disclosed in a 47-page federal court filing Monday, and that describes his ties between Gregerson and like-minded jihadis. So the question is, he was only a stock boy at Target, and he wrote Iman Ben Harsa. There we go.
Beng Harsa.
Wrote checks of up to $1,300 to Gregerson and wrote Zakat in the memo line, according to FBI reports. Gregerson, who worked as a stock boy at Target earning $9.50 an hour, also purchased 2 AK-47s, a shotgun, 7 rifles, multiple pistols and knives, Japanese swords, thousands of rounds of ammo. Typically, the purchases were made within days of receiving the checks from the Imam.
Coincidence.
Which the Imam has denied were for the purpose of buying weapons.
Sure.
But the Imam's past support for ISIS makes those denials of dubious value. He made a July 8, 2016 Facebook post indicating that he and his followers wish to get closer to Allah by standing against the United States and its allies. He says, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Where have we heard that before? Wallah something. One more painful strike inside the territory of the enemies of Allah. May Allah send more punishment on them. May Allah break their backs. Amen. The FBI counterterrorism investigators believed the Maryland Imam and Detroit man were plotting violent jihad, according to sealed documents, but Iman
Beng Harsa,
I've been Harsa before too, has not been charged with any crime as of date. The extent of his weapons financing is not known. Wow. This is just, it just boggles my mind. Okay? Somebody bankrolls these guys, and how come the guys are the only ones that go to prison?
It's true. Hang on, don't go off that page. So scroll back up. Keep going up. Keep going up. Okay, stop. Now, close out this. Either Google is listening, but you're not on Google, or the Lord wants you all to know that if you go to the WND today, WND.com, you can get the Jefferson Lies
for $4.95
today. That's the book I was just talking about. I saw that as we were scrolling. It must be the Lord. Somebody out there.
You'll also get 3 issues of WorldNet Daily.
There you go.
I have done before for another deal with WorldNet Daily.
Y'all need the Jefferson Lies by David Barton.
Y'all
we should get like a kickback from Barton for that, but we don't.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
it's really just that good of a book.
Okay, so the next story I wanted to bring you guys, I'm not sure, I had taken to putting everything in like my Twitter timeline, so like if you follow my Twitter, you're going to know exactly what we're covering. Because Google Docs and Google keeps falling away. So I want to take you in a second to the fact that the UK is really crazy when it comes to Muslims and refugees, and they put a 5-year-old Christian girl in a non-English speaking Muslim house.
She had a little cross necklace and they took it away.
Yeah, that story's really sad. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But this comes up like literally every other day. Macron is in crisis. Macaroni is in crisis. His numbers are plummeting, and if you haven't seen our Macron video of him and his child molesting mother wife,
you need to go back and watch that.
He was 15 years old when he met a 40-year-old who was his teacher, who then fell in love with Macron, the 15-year-old. Oh. And the parents said, please leave our 15-year-old boy away, at least till he's 18.
You mean? Yeah.
She was married with 3 children, one daughter who was in Macaroni's own class. Yeah. So he has some mental issues because she eventually divorced and they married about 11 years later. They kept their affair going. And
now she's kind of like the head of France.
Yeah, and in France, these people are so crazy.
But look at his face right here.
They can't see.
That is $30,000 worth of makeup.
In the past 3 months.
In the past 3 months.
3 months worth.
On his face.
It didn't look...
If I had that face, you might put 30 grand.
So anyways, he's not doing too good in France, and we didn't think he would. No. And it's actually pleasing to see. But he has hired a spin doctor in a desperate attempt to improve his popularity as he plummets in the polls. I do not want to play you. No, I don't want to play you. The French president's office has announced the appointment of outspoken TV journalist Bruno Roger Petit as Mr. Macron's spokesman, who now has the challenge of turning the tide of negative opinion. Mr. Roger Petit, named as a spokesman and advisor to the president, will be in charge of broadcasting all these deals and spinning during his first 3 months in office. The 39-year-old president, remember, he's married, I think his wife's like, what is his math, 15 and 40, it's like 25 years older than him. 15, is it 15?
No, that's more.
15,
35.
25.
No, you're right, it's 25, yeah.
So she's like 500 years old. Okay. Has come under fire for his labor reform program and spending, and I you know, at this point, it's just weird. It's just weird. Everything Macron does is weird to me. He's just... Hey, you know what he did come out and say? We have to start cracking down on radical Islamic terrorism.
Good for him.
Yeah, because everybody's getting at him. This is funny. I wanted to point this out. This is a meme created, and Caitlin Johnstone, our friendly socialist friend, who we get together with on anti-war things and stuff like that, she tweeted this out. Now, here's the list. Ready? A centrist, a classic liberal, they're all Nazi sympathizers, individualists, conservatives of color, libertarian third party, Republicans, they're all Nazi apologists. You get down to devout Christians, they have belief in Nazism.
So, hang on, are you going in order?
I'm going down.
Okay, here she is with the Nazi beliefs. The devout Christians have Nazi beliefs.
So dissenting opinions in the president are literally Nazis, but at the end, which is so funny to me,
the president... Literally a Nazi.
White nationalists, Klansmen, neo-Nazis, they're also Nazis. But see, pretty much, they're not the Nazis that everybody really cares about. Everybody else is who the Nazis really care about. And so...
At least now it's completely spelled out for us, and we know.
Yeah.
It's official.
Actually, there is actually a Democrat who's under investigation right now. And if... Well, not if. Like, there will be votes, and he won't be allowed to vote because he is under investigation, and the judge says, no, you can't take off to go vote in the Senate. And so check this out, because this could throw a few votes, and some of the stuff, you know, these are conservative elites and liberal elites and socialist elites, and they're all... To me, there's only a handful of people that are doing good things in Congress anyways, but this is kind of interesting.
Could have implications for you, your family, and every American. Here's why. New Jersey Democrat Bob Menendez is about to go to trial, and he may face a decision that could affect what the Senate decides to do on key issues such as health care, tax reform, and the budget. Correspondent Doug McElway tells us how.
We, the people of the United States, are sick and tired of political and public officials being on the take. That statement by Judge William Walls after a 2015 corruption conviction may strike fear into New Jersey Democratic Senator Robert Menendez and Democratic colleagues. The 84-year-old Walls is presiding in Menendez's corruption case. He confirmed his tough-as-nails reputation yesterday when he denied 3 Menendez requests to postpone trial days when Senate votes are taken, to explain to the jury why he may be gone during voting days, and to delay the start of the trial until after fall. Why does it matter?
The Republican majority in the Senate is razor thin right now, 52 Republicans. A single vote makes it much more likely that you could pull off major legislative victories.
Opening arguments in the Menendez trial get underway September 6th, one day after Congress returns from recess with its calendar chock full of important legislation. The pressure on Menendez to return to Washington for votes is immense, but so is the pressure to stay in the courtroom.
Oops. Somebody hit oops button. And then, I'm not going into this, but Dinesh D'Souza had tweeted out that he's like involved in some prostitute ring or whatever.
Aren't they all?
Aren't they all? So I don't know if I actually tweeted out the, let me bring up my Resistance Chicks inbox.
Talk about Illinois governor turning Illinois into a sanctuary state.
Yes! The Illinois governor turned Illinois into a sanctuary state. That is unfortunate, to say the least.
It would be tough to be living in Illinois right now. But it's all part of the agenda. That's why the Antifa base is in, or I guess I should say like the Organizing for Action. That whole base is really in Chicago. We covered that the other day. Illinois is kind of a hotbed for, it's kind of like the arm, I think, right now.
Yeah.
For the, I can't help but say it, the left agenda, the globalist agenda. I don't know. Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up this article. Took me a second. We're going to go to the UK for 2 stories, yeah? We like to cover our cousins across the pond. Now, a family of Christian girl put in foster care with Muslim family begged to let her stay with her grandmother. She needs surroundings in which she'll feel secure and loved. Instead, she's trapped in a world where everything feels foreign and unfamiliar.
There's no reason for her not to stay with her grandma.
The biological family said that they wanted the girl to stay with their grandmother. However, the child has been looked after by 2 different conservative Muslim households in the past 6 months. Now, what I have heard is that the Muslims have gotten a hold of the child welfare program. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, my humble conspiracy theory opinion, is that they want to grab these children and turn them into Muslims. Okay? She spent several months with a family who often spoke Arabic.
Hey, hang on, though. We got pinged.
Oh, darn. What does that mean?
Look at all of these people. Cool. Okay, now here's the thing, guys.
What does ping mean?
We've got a bunch of trolls that just came in at one time.
Yeah?
So to me, this is really exciting because that means that somebody didn't like our video enough that they had to go and show it to somebody and say, all right, guys, we all have to go here.
But how could you not like our video on the heroic of Houston?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But to me, I'm like, you know what? There's scripture for this. You know you're doing something right when they come after you. So I'm taking this. I haven't seen this kind of thing happen at all since we get periodic trolls, but I mean, boom, y'all just saw that happen. So I know that our moderators are on top of this. I can't mod for some reason from my phone. So I know that those of you that are there, Gary and Mom, Mass Faith 3, she keeps asking other people to delete. It's really simple, Ma. You click on the comment and you click ban or block or whatever it says. You can do this. As a moderator, you can do it.
If you accidentally banned or blocked, messaged us. We'll fix it later.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. Well, our mods really have, they really have their, I'm serious, that was like thousands. Oh my gosh.
How fun is
that? This is incredible. It's still going. Our moderators can't even keep up fast enough. All right, so let's just continue with the news.
Me. Okay, so here we go. She spent several months with a family who often spoke Arabic when she was with them. They allegedly told her to learn the language. The social service employees described the girl as emotional and tearful because the family don't speak English. The report added the girl told the supervisor that the foster care had removed her Christian cross necklace. From what I understand, let's see. She has suffered huge trauma by being forcibly separated from her family. She needs surroundings in which she will feel secure. This article doesn't talk about how she went home and she started to say, "Oh, European women are alcoholics, and Christmas and Easter are horrible holidays." And
that's awful. That is so terrible.
Since we have angered everyone, we shall continue to anger them with a, from what I understand,
here's the beauty, guys. For those of you, I know you guys like to be in the comment section, and now it's like ruined, and that's okay. This video goes afterwards, and it'll go out to thousands of people after, so don't worry about the live stream chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You do realize that if you're watching, it could be a computer, but if you're watching, we're covered the entire awesome lovingness of Houston.
That's not who's here.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay, so we're actually going to sum up here soon anyways. A couple Labor Party, Corbyn partyists have come out to talk about the racism that you're not allowed to talk about, which is the Pakistani men and the grooming gangs. And, of course, she's going to be called a racist. I believe you guys in the UK can, you obviously can't because of the trolls in the comment
section.
But if you get a chance to put something in there, you can say whether this, I believe this is a Labour Party person actually calling out the exploitation of children, which is what is really important right now. We should focus on. Let me see.
They can read
First
too.
of all, I think we were all in denial. We were blaming the victims. We were saying that they were leading the perpetrators on. It was lifestyle choices. Then I think we started to realise that it was happening, but it's our dirty little secret. So it's easier to ignore it than it is to deal with it. And then, of course, in relation to the grooming that's going on with gangs, it does predominantly tend to be Pakistani men.
Right.
And that makes us uncomfortable because we don't want to be seen as racist. But actually, it's not racist. It's just calling out a perpetrator and identifying a characteristic. Sadly, I think there is political correctness going on. I think people historically have been more concerned about not being seen racist than they have been concerned about protecting children. That has to change, and it has to change right now.
Wow.
So I also want to point out that before the craziness that happened in America, we were all, I think, kind of really focusing on the summer migrant crisis and all the NGOs and the boats. And I know that Libya had actually been working to shut some of that down.
Right.
And then suddenly we don't hear anything else. It hasn't been in the news. We've seen.
But I think it's still happening. It's just not being covered.
So I think that American stupidity has kind of, like with the monuments and everything, has overshadowed what's really going on.
Right.
And the EU is a huge part of the globalist arm and what's happening in Europe. So we will always cover what's happening in England. We will always cover what's happening in Poland and Europe in general.
Right.
But lastly, what I wanted to remark on, I'm not sure if I have this up, but Korea launched a missile over Japan.
Yes, they did do that.
So I don't know what the big thing is with
North Korea.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is, but
I think that Justin, aka Worth a Look, had sent that to me the other day. He's like, so North Korea's firing missiles again. He's from the UK. And Stacy, Rosa Sharon Patrick Homestead, she had commented the other day, she's like, all this, the racism happened and everything, and all of a sudden you're not hearing about North Korea. It still is there. It's still happening. It's still part of they have a deck of cards. Right. It's still a card in their hand that they'll play as needed.
Good Tuesday morning. We're back with a Fox News alert. North Korea blasting a ballistic missile over Japan. This alert sent to people's cell phones, missile launch, missile launch. It seems that a missile has been fired from North Korea. Please evacuate to a rugged building or underground. The missile landed in the Pacific Ocean. Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe calling it an unprecedented show of force. It's the first time Kim Jong-un has fired a missile over the island nation since 2009. South Korea responded by conducting a bombing drill.
So we have some Who Sunk My Battleship thing
sort of
going
thing.
on.
It's like a game at this point, I think.
But this was a mid-range ballistic missile designed to carry a nuclear payload over Japan. The distance and the type of missile test seemed designed to show that North Korea can back up a threat to target the U.S. territory of Guam if it chooses to do so, while also establishing a potentially dangerous precedent that could see future missiles flying over Japan. Now, I hate to make a joke of it, but he's, in my opinion, why you talk about racism? Why you not talk about me in North Korea? I like tension here. I like you talking about me. Talk about me. Oh, what can we do? Get them talk about me. Fire missile. So I feel like that's how that went down.
I agree.
I don't believe that Kim Jong-un has a...
Kim Jong-un? Kim Jong-un. If you can't say the name, just say it fast. Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un. I don't think he has a death wish, which he knows what would happen if he did fire a nuclear weapon. Everyone dies in Korea. Everyone dies. Everyone dies in North Korea and then for South Korea, and it's a mess. So I don't think he wants to do that. I think that Bannon and Gorka working on the outside are really going to show Trump what he can do, what he should do. Gorka has said, and this is they're the anti-war intervention guys. Gorka, that's Bannon, and Gorka is the Muslim terrorist guy. The expert. He's an expert in Islamic terrorism and extremism. And he's on the outside now, working with Steve Bannon and at Breitbart. And watch Breitbart and see what they're posting, because that's the message that they're trying to get to President Trump.
And I'm really hoping that they will come together with their... they were talking about coming, Bannon and Breitbart, to make an actual conservative news outlet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they want to do. So, all right. I think we're at the end.
Wow.
I think we have covered all we need to cover. Oh! I'm not done. One last thing for Maxine's sake.
Okay.
They want a single party. I should probably do a separate video. I get probably a lot more hits on this, but I'm going to give it to you guys.
Don't you feel special?
I know. Maxine Waters is filmed. She's talking about Mueller investigating Donald Trump. She says our team, our investigator.
Right.
And their goal, now, like my mom, Patriot Gallery, said, their goal is to get rid of Trump and Pence. And because she keeps saying it over and over and over again, you guys, she needs to be removed from office. Obama needs to be removed from office. You cannot make threats against the president. She needs to be removed from office, but Obama and Maxine and Pelosi and all these impeachers and all these plots against the president, they need to go to jail.
Yes.
You can't plot against the president and walk around Lee Harvey Oswald or whoever you are. Okay,
exactly.
Party, because the whole party is basically Russian agents. That's right. The dying Democratic Party now wants to end all competition and declare everybody a Russian agent and or a, quote, vicious Nazi or vicious white supremacist when they're the ones pushing the whole race narrative. But she admits early on in the speech that Robert Mueller is our special counsel. Well, we know that they've worked for the Democrats and helped cover up, you name it, and almost everybody he's appointed is a Democrat, including folks that Trump has fired. So here she is tipping her hand and admitting they intend to create a one-party dictatorship.
We think that not only can we connect the dots, and Mueller, who is our special counsel, will be able to connect the dots. Oh, Pence may have some involvement in some of this too. And so don't think that somehow, if we get this president impeached, we're going to be stuck with Pence and we can't do anything about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the strength. We have the influence, we have the ability, we have the talent to do whatever we need to do, when we need to do. This is our country.
That's right, we have the criminal energy.
And we're not going to let Trump or anyone else...
We won't let him unify us, or get the stock market going, or get 1,000 companies to move back. We're going to double that black unemployment like you did with Obama.
And of course, when you hear the haters, and my enemies, and your enemies say, I think she's premature in talking about impeachment. We have to wait. You better start the discussion. You better provide some leadership, because I think the dots are going to be connected. I believe sincerely there was collusion. Not only have our intelligence agencies said to us, yes, they absolutely hacked into the Democratic
illegally spying, which they don't have the evidence.
National Committee. And we know Manafort's involvement with the Ukraine and the contracts that he had and all the rest of them. Whether we're talking about Manafort, rather, are we talking about Glenn or Wilbur Ross? Are we talking about Carter Page? Are we talking about any of the rest of them that I have dubbed the Kremlin clan? They all think that they're going to get multi-rich on the drilling if they could only keep Trump in office. And they think they've gotten rid of Hillary Clinton, and so they don't have to worry, they're going to get it done. If it's left up to me, and I hope left up to you, Putin will never be able to lift those sanctions. Obama put those sanctions on him when they invaded Crimea, and we have strengthened them. We're sending out...
Again, she's the globalist overthrowing America, and then she says it's Putin.
From doing what he really wants to do, and that is reunite the entire Soviet Union. He is an egomaniac. But of course, he's an egomaniac.
Raising the Soviet Union again.
Heading Russia, and we've got another one heading the United States of America.
Now, this is what I'm going to tell you. My mom always told me this. She says what somebody else accuses you of is what they're guilty of. So, we can literally break down her entire speech, and she's telling us exactly what they were going to do. Now, if you were with us with our last one, you would realize that there are real commies out there, and they want a new Bolshevik revolution. Sorry.
I forgot to turn down her volume on her cell phone.
Sorry. Hopefully nobody calls. Yeah. So, anyways, she's basically saying that Putin wants to put together the USSR. Mm-hmm. She wants to put together her own, like, one party. Nobody gets to say anything because, as Caitlin pointed out, everyone's a Nazi or a fascist.
Yep.
If you don't go along with us.
Yep.
So she gave her hand away. Mueller is their special counsel designed to find collusion between Trump and Russia, which they will find none. They won't find any. And then she mentions Paul Manafort, poor guy. His grandmother isn't being investigated. Yeah, so Maxine Waters is like, she must sit down with Soros, because she says they want to get rich. This woman is from one of the poorest, worst districts in California.
Yeah.
She's been a congresswoman for about 10 years. And they don't make that much money. And she's made, like, millions of dollars. Millions. And she's like, I don't need to tell you where I get my money from. I don't need to tell you. She is labeled, from some, as the most corrupt congressperson.
Yes.
So there you have it. I wanted to end you with on a happy note.
All right. So now that we ended on that happy note, let's go back to the comment section, because I know afterwards you're watching this live, or you're watching this recorded, but for those that are with us right now, I want to thank all of our moderators.
Looks like they fixed it.
I think they did.
Bam!
Snailman2 said that
Pokemon.
this person, and I will just say it out loud so that we can get other people to go and report it. His channel is Brit Bong Returns. BRITBONG Returns with no space. And that person has rated their stream as well. So you guys can go and take care of that. If you guys were accidentally banned and blocked during that, you have to understand friendly fire. Sorry, guys. Just shoot me an email and I will check the list. I'm sure the list is
massfaith33@gmail.
Exactly. massfaith33@gmail.com, and I will take care of that.
Or message us on Facebook.
Yeah. So I think that covers it. A lot of people were commenting about Maxine being delusional. Let's see. Bush and Bin Laden's had a long relationship also. Let's see what else. The moderators, you guys were absolutely fantastic. A lot of them were getting applauded. Thank you guys for doing such a good job.
Slay the trolls. Way to go, guys.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
Ladies, I usually ask for a song, but the trolls on here don't deserve to hear you all. We actually do have a song that we were going to sing the other day. Which one did you want? Either I Went to the Enemy's Camp, or what was the one we were singing last night? That I was like, oh, how can we ever sing?
Oh, We Are One in the Spirit, right?
Yeah, that's actually a perfect song for this right now. Okay.
Yeah, this is perfect for, and let me just like see if I can just play
Song Whisperer. Long time no see, buddy.
Yeah, hey. So I wonder if I can just play some of these rescues.
And thank you guys for sticking with us and for the comments. I do, except for when that like massive thing happened, I do almost always get to see the comments, and I want to thank you guys for being a part of our live stream, because you are what make it really fun and enjoyable.
Don't forget to help out. Yes, sir.
So I'm going to mute this, and you guys can just kind of... I said I was going to mute it. Didn't want to mute when we were done here. You can just watch some rescues in the background.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Because this is what this was all about. I wanted to bring you the current news as well. Okay, so hopefully we're all caught up on missiles flying over Japan.
And if there's Britt Baza, before we sing, had wanted us to cover the gas fog, and I think you said Sussex. If you sent us that link, I didn't get it, so I'm not really familiar on that. Maybe shoot it to me again, and we might do it tomorrow and cover that. I think it happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
okay, so. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And together all unity will one day be restored. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. We will walk with each other, we will walk hand in hand. We will walk with each other, we will walk hand in hand. And together we'll spread the news that God is in our land. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. Let's sing one time. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And together all unity may one day be restored. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. We will walk with each other, we will walk hand in hand. We will walk with each other, we will walk hand in hand. And together we'll spread the news that God is in our land. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. Yay!
Yes, that is a good song.
And you know what? When the haters hate and they want to call us white supremacists and craziness, you just have to know
they will know that we are Christians by our love.
Okay?
That's all you got to do, man.
Socialism, communism, fascism, Nazism, all the isms. Nothing can bring you peace. Nothing can fill your soul like the love of Jesus Christ.
And that love being shown through humans. People that aren't even Christians can show the love of Christ when they help another person.
Yeah.
And that is what we have seen. You might want to press cancel unless you want that to play. That's what we have seen through Hurricane Harvey. And I love the alliteration of the heroes from Hurricane Harvey.
Houston residents help a couple in their 90s wade through the water.
Look at that, guys. I mean, come on. Seriously. That's like a porch chair that she's... Come on! That's America. This is the America. Somebody had tweeted out a saying, and I'm going to really butcher it here, but Charlottesville is what the mainstream media would have you think that America is. And this right here is what America is. So, thank you guys Thank you for joining us. If you guys have any... oh, you know what?
Look,
one last thing that I want
to... We gotta get the cattle somewhere!
Stop it! Oh my gosh! That is fantastic! Praise the Lord.
I was wondering about all the cows in Texas.
Come on now. Preach.
All the cows in Texas.
Saving cows in Texas. All right, no. I do have... Okay, hang on a minute. One last piece of business that I need to take care of.
Like a month later?
Yeah. Because we haven't been doing our regular recordings, we haven't had a chance to do a mail call. And we got something from Angela Varden. She had sent us something in the beginning at your birthday, I think. So she has sent another package, and I've been saving it for a mail call, and I have not done one. So I was like, you know what? We're going to do it today at the end of the live stream. And that's what. So this came all the way via Royal Mail from the UK.
By the way, this came from one of our viewers, because you know what we need more than anything else.
It did. All right.
You can start a fire with this. Nice.
To Leah and Michelle. I'm probably not going to have time to read this entire thing. But this has to, and maybe after I read it, I might have time to put it back and come back to you guys later with it. But she's the one that wanted me to post that letter to Donald Trump, and I thought that that was really important. So I did, because she was having trouble getting it there from the UK. So we sent it certified mail. It said that these are handmade on the outside of the package here.
Wow.
That is absolutely adorable. Oh my gosh, Angela, thank you so much.
They're so cute.
Okay, so the handle got a little broken, but I think I can fix it.
We'll fix it.
We will fix it.
We will fix it.
Hang on, I want to show it. I want to make sure that it gets up there.
These are so cute.
These are absolutely adorable. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Angela. That is absolutely amazing.
Aww. You can see them.
And she always has really good tips. Oops, that was a fail. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We'll fix it.
She says, I have a hobby of making things out of Fimo, so I've sent you a trinket box each that I've made. I hope you like them.
I like them.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
I have actually never heard of Fimo before. This is interesting. I've never felt anything like this before.
She said that she's upset that Donald Trump hasn't come to England to visit us in the Midlands yet. Nigel Farage said he was going to come to the Midlands.
He was supposed to come
because
in
of his state visit being pushed back. It's not fair. I want him to come visit us. I hope you're both all right. Love from Angela.
You know, Donald Trump was on a train, and as Bannon said, the presidency that we fought and won for, they fought and won for. Is what he's saying.
Mom said to hold it up. Did you hold it up?
Yeah. It's no longer with us, but we have something different. You know, Donald Trump was going to go to England, and he was going to meet with Nigel
Farage. Yeah, and there was a lot of controversy about that, and I think even the Queen was like, yeah, dude, I want him to come. So hopefully Donald will get over there. This is absolutely adorable. I cannot believe that you made this, Angela. It's so cute. It's so cute. Look at this. I've never even heard of Fimo before. I'm pretty sure we can fix that around here.
We're going to glue it.
We are going to glue it. Absolutely adorable. Okay. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you that don't know, we had and we actually still have it, a post office box with UPS, and I'm getting ready to close that down. It's kind of expensive because the reason I did the UPS box instead of the USPS box is because at the United States Postal Service, if you get a P.O. box with them, they cannot receive packages from FedEx, DSL, UPS, whatever. They can receive packages from like the Royal Mail and things like that, but they can't receive packages from those types of company, which is why I went with that. I do think I am going to get a P.O. box. It's much cheaper. So if you guys do have letters that you want to send, some people just aren't the type to send emails. And if you want to send a letter, we love the letters.
Letters are so fun.
And if I get more, I will do more mail calls. So once I get the P.O. box settled and an address, I'll be putting that in the description of our videos. And then if you guys want to mail us letters that you want read on air, let me know and send them, and we'll read them.
I used to love watching TV shows where they would like read the letters.
Yeah, that's really, really fun. I'm also toying with the idea of doing a Resistance Chicks Q&A, just strictly going live where we can just not focus on the news, not focus on any of this stuff, just where we can have like a real heart-to-heart with you guys and do a Q&A. And so I want to thank you guys for being here. I think that that would be really fun. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to sign off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not just a conspiracy theory, if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter.
Sure, you can send us a couple of nice knives.
Yes, once I get the P.O. box, you'll see it in the descriptions. I'll be putting it up there. You may send us knives. We won't ever turn down knives. This is America.
Yeah, we use it for everything, man.
Share these on your social media pages. You guys have been fantastic. And I want to give you a little bit of an update. If you guys don't watch our numbers, we do. We've been doing the live streams instead of our regular videos like we had been doing previously, because we're able to avoid the YouTube censorship by doing so. We're still able to do that. So now these videos have thousands of views, whereas we would do some videos and work really hard on them and they'd only get 150 to 400 views. So we're going to continue with this platform. I hope you're okay with it. It doesn't have our intro. It doesn't have our exit. I know.
It's not broken up into segments. I can just put really like the title. You can only put like, you know, I agonize over titles to see what you guys would want to click on.
Right. So for right now, this is what's working. I still am working on going live with a third-party program so that we can add more stuff to it. So we'll see. It's a lot. Like I said, we're not techie girls. We're just news girls and Christians. So, all right, you guys. We love you. God loves you. And God bless.
See you later. Go Houston. Go Texas. Awesome.